What's up, everybody? Another day, another dollar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed. Just thought I'd drop another video real quick, man. We're talking about the mucusless diet, why you should consider it, and what's on the list. Okay. Well, I look at it like this. The mucusless diet is exactly what it says it is, right? It basically is a diet that allows you to eat foods that doesn't cause mucus in the body. If you're not familiar with Dr. Sebi, I mean, we have to give our respects to the honorable and to the late Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi spoke so much about mucus in the body, and the only disease that he considered was the mucus in the body. And so one of the things that we have to look at is the foods that we eat and what's in the foods. And so some of those foods that we eat, they contain so many different preservatives and all these different types of chemicals that they use to process our foods, which actually cause the mucus in our body. Is so important, especially for those who don't know or not conscious to that. And that's why I dropped this video, so that you all could, get a whiff of it and understand that they're doing so much to our food because of the demand of the food. And so as a result of that, they use these different chemicals in these products in order to mass produce it. And so that in turns create the mucus in our body. And so I want to kind of go over with that, with you all, so that you can consider it, not just as a diet, but, a way of life. I've started doing the mucusless diet back in November last year. Yeah, it's almost a year. I started it like right after Thanksgiving last year. I changed my water up that summer of last year, and I started seeing tremendous changes within my body then. And so it took me a couple of months to kind of like really adjust to it, and so I changed my diet right after Thanksgiving, and I don't like worship or like celebrate Thanksgiving anymore. But it was Thanksgiving last year. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to kick the meat. I'm going to stop eating red meat. I'm going to stop eating chicken. And so immediately I started losing weight. And so about a month in, I lost at least about 10 pounds, 9 pounds. I was thinking maybe, well, it's probably pretty much just, just a lot of waste, a lot of fecal matter that needed to come out of me or whatever. And so, I didn't think nothing of it, but I started like actually taking some other foods out of my diet. And one of those things was the dairy. And I used to have this cough. I always cough. I used to think I had like tuberculosis or something, man. I don't know, like some respiratory problem. And right after I stopped drinking the milk, the cough left. And so I started doing a little bit more research. And so I came across the mucusless diet. One of the guys' name was Patrick Devs or something like that. He's an herbalist. He's online. And so I researched him. I looked at Dr. Sebi a little bit more. And so I came across the actual diet plan for the mucusless diet. And so I saw that what some of those foods were causing. They were causing mucus. And so the mucus that was in my respiratory system was actually what was causing me to cough. And then the light came on. It clicked to me, right? And I said, okay, I'm getting on this diet. 4 months in, after I started adjusting to this diet, I lost at least about 50 pounds. 50 pounds within about 4 months. That's at least about 10 pounds per month. I lost 50 pounds. I was at almost 300. I was really at 302, okay? And I had immediately buy some new clothes. I was losing weight. I was feeling much better. I could sleep good at night. And I said, this is it. And so now, almost a year later, I've been practicing this diet, and now it is basically my way of life. It is no longer a diet. This is my lifestyle. I do eat every now and then. I may have a little something off of the list, but for the most part of it, I'm still growing. And I've made some tremendous changes. And so I want to go over the list real quick. For those who are just now checking in, when you go back and play back, you'll hear my story. But I'm going to go over the list real quick so that you can hear some of the foods that are on this mucusless diet list. And what I'll do is I'll try to provide you a link. I'm going to upload the diet plan that I actually kind of made some adjustments too, because there were some foods on there that was prohibited by Dr. Sebi. Not saying Dr. Sebi was the be all end all, but I do, agree and subscribe to some of those foods that are on his list. And so what I did was I took that list and his list, compiled them together and created a new list. All right. And so I'm going to go over this list real quick. I'm not going to go over everything, but for the most part of it, I'm going to give you most of those fruits, and some of the grains that you can eat. On the list, starting out, we're going to go with apples, black cherries, blackberries. And remember, with the berries, they have to have seeds. If they don't have seeds, then they're GMO products, and they're definitely going to give you mucus. All right. But apples, black cherries, blackberries, blood orange, cantaloupe, cherries, grapefruit, grapes, honeybell, tangelos, honeydew, lemons, mandarins, mangoes, nectarines, oranges, peaches, pears, pineapples, plums, prunes, raisins, raspberries, strawberries, sweet cherries, tangerines, and watermelon. All right, I know I went through it pretty quick, but the list is kind of long. So that means that you have a lot of different options. So don't never feel as though when you're making that transition to a mucusless diet, like you're actually just wiping out all of the good stuff. You can eat all of the good stuff. It's just those things that are actually bad is what we consider being good. So we have to really, it's a mind thing. We have to change our perspective of what real food is. A lot of us think that, oh, well, eating meat and the meat has protein in it. Well, there are other foods that you can supplement with that actually have more protein in it than the meat. Let's take a look at some of the dry fruits, which are apples and apricots, cherries, dates, figs, grapes, mango, pineapple, plums, and strawberries. All right. Your fruit jellies, syrups, and honeys. Coconut water, fruit jellies. Make sure that they have no sugar added. When you're on the mucusless diet, you want to make sure that you stay away from all processed sugars. All right. All your fruit jellies, if they have sugar added to them, stay away from it. All right. Let's take a look at some of our green leaf vegetables. Arugulas, cabbage. Now, when you're cooking your cabbage, make sure that you are steaming your cabbages. Collards, you're steaming them, okay? Because you don't want to cook out all of the nutrients, because when you overcook your foods, because those collards and your cabbages, because they're so thick that you have to actually cook them for a long time, right? And so when you cook them for a long time and you cook them at a very high temperature, you actually kill all of the minerals and the nutrients in it. So you have to cook them at a very low temperature. And so the best way to do that is when you actually steam those cabbages and those collard in your greens. Your dandelion leaf, if you eat dandelion leaf, steam them. Kale, all your spinach, if you cook it, steam it. And then that way you preserve all of those nutrients and minerals in your foods. And then that begin to get you a little bit more used to and more able to eat raw foods. Because one thing that the mucusless diet plan will do for you, it will actually position you mentally to accept eating raw foods. And I'm almost there. I would say probably, by next year, this time, I'll be doing a video about eating raw foods. All right. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. Some people, I've seen videos where they've done it overnight. But for myself, it took me a year just to get to this point. All right. Because you got to think about it. Over 20, 30 years of eating whatever it is that you want. And when you start getting into a new lifestyle, it is so hard. Some people, they still eat cheese, but they're vegans and vegetarians, but they still eat cheese, knowing that the cheese is definitely bad. Why is that? Why have they still adopted that? Is because that the cheese is addictive, So let's go back through that again. Arugula, cabbage, collards, dandelion, kale, lettuce, mustard greens, and spinach. Now, in Dr. Sebi's plan, if you go back and take a look at it, he has included spinach, but spinach has starch in it. So just wanted you to be aware of that, just in case for those of you who are Sabians and you follow Dr. Sebi religiously. Okay, some of your raw vegetables, your root stem fruits, Once again, you got your celery, cucumbers, dandelion, green onions, peppers, red beets. I like red beets. Sea vegetables such as your kelp, your alfalfa sprouts, tomatoes, and zucchini. For myself, I hate tomatoes, all right? Even when I eat salad, tomatoes is freaking disgusting. Now, some of your baked and steamed vegetables, okay? Remember, what I said is that you want to make sure that you steam your vegetables. Steam them, okay? Because when you're steaming your vegetables, you are preserving all of those nutrients and minerals there in your foods. Zucchini, if you like zucchini, very good. Peppers, green peppers. Now, people have asked me about carrots, and I'm going to tell you, if you pay attention to Dr. Sebi said, don't eat carrots. I went and took a look at that. I said, let me do a little bit more research on carrots. And what I found was carrots actually are full of starch. Starch is a base used, just as Dr. Sebi said. And so when I read up on it and I saw the list of foods that contain all of the starch, and when I saw carrots on that list, it told me right then and there that carrots was a starch-based food. And so therefore it causes mucus. Although it does have a lot of great benefits, I'm not going to take anything from it. But when it comes to the mucusless diet, we definitely want to take carrots off of our list. Now, there are a lot of other foods and fruits and vegetables that are here on this list. Some of your starchy and fatty vegetables, once again, like carrots. This is all on this list here, and I'm definitely going to put it on in the description a little later on. Once I kind of understand where I need to put it at. I think I need to go into Google or something like that, but I'm going to figure it out. And if it's not there by the end of the day, just come back and check tomorrow. But it's definitely going to be up there so that you guys can download the mucusless diet list, especially the list that combines Dr. Sebi's list and another list that I got from another gentleman, and then just some things that I've discovered for myself. Okay, and that's what we do. We take information from different areas and then we compile it together so that because things have to evolve, right? And so we have to better the information than what we got, 5 years ago. All right, because things begin to change, our bodies begin to change, and so we have to update the data. And so that's what I did. Now, some of your nuts and seeds, your cereals are definitely mucus forming. You're looking at your cashews, almonds, Brazil nuts, peanuts, walnut, etc. They are mildly mucus forming, although that they are good for you. But when you are on the mucusless diet, then you want to minimize those. Although you don't want to delete them, you want to minimize them. All right, you want to minimize them so that you can get the best benefits, because a lot of your proteins are going to come from some of the other supplements that you would be taking, such as moringa. Moringa is very, very high in iron. It's very high in those proteins. All right. But anyway, y'all, I just wanted to give you that a quick update about the mucusless diet. These are some of the things that are on the list and why you should consider it. It definitely will help you rid some of those ailments, those diseases, such as asthma and respiratory problems, your candida, things within your digestive system, anything that pertains to mucus, such as all your itises, all right, such as arthritis, which is what? Mucus in your joints. And so in order to get that mucus out of your joints, you're definitely going to need to exercise, and you're going to have to change your diet, because a lot of these foods that we eat contribute to our ailments. And so I wanted to do this video real quick just to show you all how important it is to change your diet, and some of the foods that we are ingesting are contributing to our ailments. All right, I'm Mike. Once again, are you alkaline today?